Hello, my friends. I am Glacia Rain, Intuitive Life Coach, Ascension Guide, and this video is for roughly the month of April. Really, it's just kind of for spring. I want to start out by talking about what a lot of people have been going through, and that is the kind of the dark night of the soul again. Sometimes like dark night within a dark night Inception style, right? And also facing the shadow. So a lot of people have really been addressing like the childhood issues or the childhood trauma, and how it's still playing out in their life today. And also looking at how they show up in the world. When you're facing your shadow, you have to look at where you've been less than who you want to be, and that can be very painful. And in fact, a lot of people avoid the shadow and run from the shadow. But it's the part of the ascension process where if we keep avoiding the inner work, life will just get harder and harder and harder. So there's some energies coming in June, and I know this is for April, but I want to share what's been shared with me through my higher self, and has helped me to prepare for this. There's some energies coming in June that are really going to create a global awakening, like popping the cork on the champagne. It's just there's no going back after that, and not that there was anyways, but it's the global awakening. So it's the preparation for disclosures, the preparation for the actual true galactic history to be shared, and then also the truth about our multi-dimensional expression that is our natural divine expression, right? Not the cut-off, limited, singular expression just within the 3D here. So this energy coming in, something to do to prepare, and this is the rainbow plasma that's going to really be flooding in June. It's already coming now, and it was flowing in really strong May of last year when I talked about the rainbow rays coming in. And so that will be activating many, many, many people into a rapid spiritual evolution. Okay. And so for a lot of you, the indigos and star seeds, you've been going through this preparation phase since the end of October. That's when it really kicked in. So, and I talked about this multiple times, so I'm not going to go into it again because it's in the last videos. I'll briefly say it. That's where you've had a lot of these breakdowns and the rewiring of your system. So what you're going through now, I'm speaking to the indigos and starseeds, what you've been going through, and the symptoms of that would be kind of having to face the body detoxing, the mind detoxing, examining your belief systems, letting go of things in your life that don't fit anymore, challenges in every single area of your life. So challenges in career, challenges in relationships, challenges in finances, challenges in your home life, and even challenges within self-love, right? And you may get triggered by the world around you a lot. People will come out of nowhere. And this is kind of a test by yourself and for yourself to see where you're at with your process. How are you going to respond? Are you going to be an a-hole back to somebody, or are you going to take the higher road and accept that that person's hurting? That's why they're acting out, and don't add more hurt into it. Add love into it, transform the situation, and move along, right? So that's kind of more stepping into the level of self-mastery, which all of us are doing with this ascension process. We're remembering ourselves. This process that you've been going through is what is going to be initiated and instigated within the global population in June. And not just exactly June. It's like things don't just one day click. It's like you start to feel the energies build, and then taper off again. But that's what's going to be really flooding. And the reason is we are ready. You've been asking for it. We've been preparing. We've been doing the work. And so connecting into your template of who you truly are. So when I'm talking about the multidimensional self, when I say you're expanding out into your multidimensional self, what I mean is that you are building your multidimensional light body template, right? So You're reconnecting the different parts of the different layers within your light body, and that is your multidimensional template, right? So it's not like you just exist at this one dimension, right? Third dimension. But because we are in a fallen grid system, we are focused in the third dimension and not trying to so much connect in with other aspects of ourself in these other dimensions, because we don't know if they're hijacked. We don't know if they're mind controlled. We don't know what's going on with them, because there actually is a disconnect. That's why we have this whole ascension process in the first place, because this universe fell. The grid here fell, and it's the energy harvesting grid rather than the life-giving grid. So this ascension process, with fifth dimension, really we're connecting into all levels of ourselves, into our soul, into the monad, and into the 12th dimensional template, which is your 12-strand DNA. And that's the true divine human template that, and the corruption that has taken place has cut us off from aspects within that template, right? So there's a disconnect in communication, almost like the phone lines aren't working, right? You can't call. So you can't get information from another level of your own self. And that has led a lot of people to feel like there's something missing, because there was. So, when you're cut off from your own self, of course you're going to feel lonely. You're going to feel lost. You're going to feel like something's missing and be searching for something outside of yourself. But really, that reconnection is taking place now. And it takes place according to your vibrational readiness, because when you have an activation, you expand in your consciousness, and you expand out. When you expand in your consciousness, you're actually expanding out into your multidimensional template too. So you're reaching these higher levels and the information that exists in those higher levels. And as we do that, we end up seeing more and more of what's going on. And so you have to clear a lot of these lower energies before you can rise up into this greater expression, because of the information that is contained within that expression. So if you were to go from third dimensional awareness to 12th dimensional awareness, it would be so shocking to the system that it would make you go insane. It would really corrupt the psyche because of the stuff that's held within your field, the distortions, the ego distortions, and the energetic patterns of like abandonment and sadness, and also deception, betrayal, hatred, anger, frustration, all of those different things, and judgment of others, conditional love, things like that held within your field that would basically create such a discord with your existence now and the higher dimensional existence that you feel. It would be almost unbearable and painful to be in this body and in this life, right? It would almost amplify all of those things to the point that they overwhelm you, because that light, that 12th dimensional light, when that comes in, it shows you where everything is out of balance within you. And for some, you're excited. You're like, oh, thank goodness I know what's wrong so I can work on it. For others, you don't want to see it. So when it's in, a place where you're like, I don't want to look at that, I can't look at that, it will get louder and bigger and stronger until you are forced to look at it. There is no way of getting out of your own lessons. Okay, nobody can do them for you. But you actually have the power to do them yourselves. And you're not going to be handed more than you can handle, but you are going to be handed enough to push you beyond your comfort zone. And then once you expand your comfort zone out, another thing will come in to push you beyond your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is like this 3D mentality, and it's actually a discomfort zone in my opinion. But as you expand out, that's when you are starting to tap into your multidimensional awareness, and your multidimensional awareness does not exist within your comfort zone. What exists within your comfort zone is the known. Your multidimensional awareness, you're tapping into the unknown, or unknown from this conscious perspective, right? Of this level of yourself. So the body is having to do the detox just like the mind is having to purge through all the beliefs and the thoughts and the traumas associated with, the thoughts associated with the traumas. Excuse me. And so the body, though, is going through a rapid detox. But right now, we are dealing with the different silent weapons and the different strategies to make people sick. So the body is going to detox because the body doesn't want to be sick. Obviously, it's designed for homeostasis. And when we're dealing with this purge, you purge the mind, you purge the emotions, and then you're also purging the physical representation of those things, which would be these weaponized bacteria or other methods used to hurt humanity or destroy or degrade the human template. So we've got a lot going on with the degradation of the human DNA template right now, and people are really making their choice on what they want to exist within, right? And by that, how to put this so I can share it on YouTube. People are choosing the timelines that they're going to be on, right? So there's a high level of corruption and distorted information going around right now around health and things that you can get put in your body, okay? There's a lot of lies and deception going on, and it's really important to use your discernment. Now is the time for discernment. Trust your inner guidance, not peer pressure. Trust your inner guidance, not public shaming, right? Don't buy into the tactics of the dark. Those are tactics of the dark. So above all else, trust your inner guidance and inner knowing. Okay, your body is designed to heal itself, and when there's not distorted patterns of energy in your field, you can't get sick. Okay, so it's really about doing the inner work right now and making sure that you are giving yourself time for the self-care, the self-love. So let's talk about self-love for a minute, because this is something that's coming up within everybody that I communicate with, every single person. I have not seen one person that is not working on self-love right now. And the reason that is because the divine feminine template got restored into the universal grid structure here, right? It got brought back to 3D too. And the divine masculine template also got brought back in. So when there's a distortion in one, there's a distortion in the other because they are a balanced pair. When one is imbalanced, they're both imbalanced, right? So we had to restore the divine feminine template and then the divine masculine template. And those two together are restoring the balance of the energetics within this reality. That's also happening within you. You're balancing your masculine and feminine energies as well. So there's a lot of stuff coming up around receiving, around giving, around appropriate giving, appropriate receiving. A lot of people really struggle with receiving as well. And when we step in, as we're stepping more and more into this unity grid, that will start to dissolve. You'll start to see what made you feel guilty in receiving, And a lot of times it's silly things where you ask for something and your parents say no. And in your mind, you make something up where you're not deserving of what you want. And that's not true at all. But in a child's mind, they don't know how else to interpret it. So that's the story that's created. That's the belief that then is accepted and handed to the subconscious mind. And then all of a sudden you've got a belief system that you don't even know where it came from, because most of us don't remember our childhood very clearly, especially like a moment like that until we're in some type of therapy where it gets drawn out and brought back to the surface through a series of questions, right? So the bodies need extra support right now. And when this rainbow light starts really flooding this level, there will be a lot of healing to be had for sure. The diet's going to need to be looked at because we need high frequency foods. A lot of our foods have been poisoned or, genetically modified or made to be less than nourishing for the physical body, right? It's like you get nourishment, but it comes along with damage as well. And so that's also shifting. So we're having dramatic shifts in every area, okay? Every area is being transformed of life, right? So food, relationships, health, finances, all of it. Housing, distribution of wealth, distribution of resources, appropriate action by leaders. Right now we have a bunch of misleaders, but there are good leaders out there too, you know. There are people that are strong and willing to stand up for each other and speak the truth. There are corruption, you know, there is corruption, there are corrupt people, but there is also great people too. So bringing about balance within the physical body is going to be a very unique process for each of you, okay? And I'm going to get into a little bit more of that on my Patreon channel. So I'm starting school again in May to get trained in holistic nutrition because I really want to be able to help everybody heal their physical body because I see what's coming in the timelines with all the stuff set up to create poor health, and I want to help people with body, mind, and soul. Okay, so last year I got the plant-based cooking certification. This year I'm doing the holistic nutrition. And that's going to take a bit of time for me to get done. And so I'm kind of restructuring how I'm doing things. I'll still be doing sessions, but I have a Patreon with 3 different tiers. One of them is the extended video, so the rest of this video. And then also I'm doing a monthly revocation to help clear out soul contracts and different agreements that you didn't realize you had. And then also a monthly meditation. And then I'm also doing some bonus classes and a live Q&A, which is included in the 3rd tier automatically. You are already in that if you want to be. You get the guided meditation and all kinds of stuff. I'll let you check it out here. I'm trying to let you know how I'm structuring things so I can manage my time and be of the greatest service. So if that's something you're interested, please do check it out. And thank you very much for being here with me. I am amazed at what I am seeing in the collective. People are growing in leaps and bounds. My heart is so full of love for all of you. And I just feel like a proud mom, you know, I just do. I'm like, the collective, like my family, these beautiful beings are just crushing game and facing these challenges and being their best and setting positive intentions for others as well, you know. So thank you for every bit of work that you're doing on yourself, the contribution you're being to others, and how you're showing up in this world. Thank you so very much. You are amazing, and I appreciate your presence here. I have a lot of gratitude and appreciation for you. Much love, family.